Hello, I'm David Reed and I am a Director of Element Consultants. We have been watching the government's taxation reform proposals and they have gone through a consultation process, and this paper is a brief attempt to summarise where we think they're going to head. In September they set out a consultation document called Reforming the Business Energy Tax Landscape, which is an intention to simplify the current confused system. The closing date was the 9th of November. The government are undoubtedly setting objectives to improve the management of resource efficiency in terms of business. Now, they therefore state that they are trying to meet both productivity and environmental targets simultaneously. While some may be sceptical about this, you can't disagree with the overall intention of this statement. The current landscape features a large number of overlapping and maybe slightly contradictory schemes. We have the climate change levy, which is effectively a tax on use of energy. Then we have the carbon reduction commitment energy efficiency scheme, which is effectively a way of reducing carbon usage. There are taxes on heating fuels. There are then climate change agreements, which effectively reduce the burden on certain industries in response for commitment to improve. We then have the greenhouse gas reporting mandatory scheme. Recently, the energy savings opportunity scheme has come onto the landscape as driven from Europe, and it is basically a reporting scheme on energy efficiency. There are enhanced capital allowances, and then we have the electricity demand reduction pilot. Now, one of the things that is noted is that the emissions trading scheme is outside the scope of this, so quite how that will fit into the future landscape we're not quite sure. And there also is a non-financial reporting directive which is coming through Europe at the moment. So when one looks at the purposes of these mechanisms, there's a mixture of taxation and reporting and discounting going on across the whole range of schemes. It is clearly government's intent to simplify this process. The government proposals would appear to centre around concentrating taxation around the climate change levy, abolishing the carbon reduction commitment, and probably reducing the number of climate change agreements perhaps to nil. At the same time, developing ESOS as the preferred reporting framework, which would replace the greenhouse gas mandatory scheme as well. Now, that's the simple side of these proposals, and I guess it's going to be whether government can keep it simple. These next three slides I'm not going to talk over because they are the list of questions that were in the government consultation document, and if you wish to, what you can do is you can read through each of the questions. At the beginning is really a clear question about whether you approve of simplifying the current system or not. This summary by Carbon Credentials does set the thing into nice, simple words. I think it describes it in 7 clear points, so it's definitely worth a read. I tabulated some of the responses from different organisations just to get a flavour for the general response from most respondents, and there's a pretty clear response to say that yes, simplification would be the right way to go, and yes, ultimately the climate change levy, despite its flaws, would be the best platform to use for future taxation. The questions, as you know, having read them, the questions further down are more about how you manage things like energy and the load on energy intensive industries, and how you stop carbon leakage, and also there were discussions about subsidies. And inevitably in any response document like this, what you have is you have certain lobby groups arguing from their own point of view, but the broad thrust was a positive response. So to summarise it, it's likely, or the consensus certainly, was that simplicity is popular. Yes, we should go for a single tax based on the climate change levy. Yes, we should get rid of CRC, and yes, ESOS can be developed to be the reporting standard. Ultimately, this debate is, do you tax carbon or do you tax energy use? And the climate change levy takes you down the taxation of energy use. Whilst that is the view to simplify, inevitably there will be pressure from individual lobby groups asking for divergence from this pure solution. And I can see that government will want to resist this, because that's how we got to where we were, or where we are, with complexity, because individual lobby groups have argued in favour of a particular new method of maybe reducing the load on a certain industry type. So what do I think government will do? Well, I think that they will consolidate taxation based on the climate change levy, they will abolish the CRC, and they will develop ESOS as the main reporting and monitoring platform. They will probably resist complexity, but some cases will succeed based on sound argument. So, for example, some energy-intensive industries which are vulnerable to carbon leakage may well get protection, but I think they will wish to resist the reintroduction of climate change agreements. Thank you very much for listening, and do please contact us if you need any advice on your energy problem. Thank you.